Hi everyone, welcome back. I wanted to give you an update about how everything's going around here. And yes, I am still planting. It seems really quiet because we finally moved these little meat birds in with the big birds. It's going to be a cooler day today and tomorrow, so my plan is to leave them in. Got a fan going in there. We brought them some food just to kind of get them used to being in there. And I was thinking about it. I should have clipped their wings before I put them in, but instead I got them all in, and I'll have to clip their wings when they come out. What's growing in the garden is doing well. Our strawberries have been picked maybe the last 2 days. The kids have been picking them and eating them, so that's awesome. Garlic's doing well. The big tomatoes Matt planted are doing fairly well, some of them better than others. And then the small tomatoes, nothing. They aren't making a dent. And I have more tomatoes I'm going to plant today. So this is a tray of 50 tomatoes I started back in April. Some of my sticks moved around a little bit, but 50 tomatoes. Out of the 50, we've got about 7 seedlings that came up at all. Crazy. And I used a variety of brands of seeds, so I think it was more the soil problem. We switched from cow manure to this organic compost that doesn't have as much manure in it, and I think it made a big impact on our seedlings growth. Now it's hard to see or even believe, but from here all the way up there we have little tomatoes planted. Matt planted about this big, and in the tray he was planting I did find one that he didn't get to, that a seedling popped up, so I'm going to plant that one as well. Since they're so small, I'm a little nervous of how our tomatoes are going to do, so I am, and you guys told me I should, keeping all of our volunteer plants that came up by the cattle panel. So here's the cattle panel, here's a volunteer tomato plant. Looks so much better than the ones we planted ourselves. Who knows, you know, what kind of tomatoes those are going to be. Our labels kind of got mixed up on those tomatoes anyways, so oh well, tomatoes. Like 5 of these are these red Brandywine tomatoes, so I'm going to get those planted and put the stick by them. I just realized looking at my tomatoes that the last 2 in here are giant crimson, which are that seed that we were trying to save our own seed from. So I might move those up into the greenhouse and plant them in pots or in the greenhouse itself. I ran up and grabbed another tray of tomatoes. This is our last tray, and of the 50 seeds planted here, about a dozen came up. We've got Cherokee Purple, which are supposed to be bigger ones. We've done those before, so I think I'm going to plant those first. Then we have it was just an heirloom mix, so some of those were big tomatoes, some of those were littler tomatoes, some of those were cherry tomatoes, so we'll plant those after, and then we'll end with cherry tomatoes. The fronts of both of these have already gotten planted. Ideally I'd like the cherry tomatoes up there, but we'll kind of see where we're at. And then I'm really toying with the idea of transplanting some of our pop-up tomatoes. Came up by the cabbages over there or random places in the garden, just to be sure we have enough. Now last year when I was all done planting tomatoes, I was reading, we kind of journal a sentence a day, and I was reading in our journal that as of yesterday last year we were completely done planting the garden, and then Matt came home with 50 surprise tomatoes today last year. So we had quite a few extra tomatoes. That meant they were planted 6 inches apart. That's obviously not ideal, and it means I need to prune them more when they're that close together, and it would be nice to not have to worry about pruning them, but some of these are just so small I don't know what they're going to amount to. So my thoughts are plant these, and then I can always do my transplants or any extra on the opposite side, kind of in between the tomato plants, and that way if some of these smaller ones don't amount to much, we still have those. The soil black tomatoes are planted. I did transplant one tomato plant. It was growing in the middle of this path in between, so I just transplanted it on the side, and the 2 cherries are on this side of this cattle panel way down there, so they're one of the first things the kids will see when they come in the garden. Forever ago, it seems like, we buried this watering line in our garden, and the last maybe year or 2 we haven't really used it. I'd love to get back to using it, but I think I just punctured a hole in it. I was digging right here. I saw the line over there. Didn't even realize it was way here. So I'm making just kind of a little line here leaving an opening to get to the animals when they're back here. But I'm going to plant some of our bell peppers in here. Last year we had hot peppers over here. So, I don't know. I'm going to do bell peppers here. We're doing King of the North. I have 2 trays and they did fairly well. I think we planted 3 trays of King of the North and only 2 trays did well. And then I had another 4th tray of California Wonder and then I think Black Beauty, and I have 1 Black Beauty plant.
You can't turn the tide, let the water go where it wants to go. Yourself beneath the stones. Somebody told me don't pretend, 'cause everyone could use a friend sometimes. Take some good advice. Don't let your fear decide. That's how you break.
I brought down the 2nd tray of bell peppers. So these are all King of the North, but that one I called Black Beauty. Chocolate Beauty is what I meant, but otherwise King of the North. So we planted this whole area and I'm moving on to the other side of the tree. So hot outside most of the afternoon, like in the beating sun, but got all the tomatoes planted besides those 2 here I would like to plant in the greenhouse. I got all of my bell peppers planted and all I have left are my hot peppers, and I was like, I can't do this, it's so hot. I'm going in the house. So I'm in the house like 10 minutes just cooling down, and I ran out to get the mail and the temperature has dropped like 15 degrees outside and there's a breeze. So I look up the weather and we're getting a storm. So it looks like we're gonna have a storm in about an hour, the next hour sometime, and then it's gonna calm down the rest of the night. So I'm wondering if before this storm starts, I can get the rest of these. The kids sense the storm too. I'm wondering if I can get the rest of these hot peppers planted, because it would be really nice to have all the plants in and just have seeds left. In a way, I wish I had waited until now to start planting my plants because it was just so hot earlier. But we'll bring these hot peppers down, see what we can get in before this storm starts. I left this spot right here. It would be nice to have a spot to get back to the pigs when they're back here, but I did one up there. So instead what I'm going to do is to separate my bell peppers and my hot peppers per se. I'm going to put zucchini here, and I haven't done that yet. So I need to do that, but I'm gonna leave that spot open. I've got 1 row ready here in the back, and we're gonna plant jalapenos. If you're not familiar with jalapenos, they're wonderful. They taste like jalapenos without the spiciness of jalapenos. So they are perfect for jalapeno poppers, which we love to make ahead, put in the freezer.
Let me take a breath. Let me be a part of something real. Someone said it's better when you hold on to a helping hand. Sometimes we could all use a friend. Don't let your fear decide. That's how you break inside. You don't need to worry. Somebody's waiting.
All right, I don't know if I'm gonna get this next row done, but we're gonna try for Italian pepperoncini. All right, I got them in. It's looking yuckier and yuckier out. And the bugs are coming out. Bugs aren't bad this whole time I've been out here until now. think I'm gonna see if I can get some cayenne in quick too. I'm super bummed about those Tabasco peppers because I have a certain daughter who really wanted to make hot sauce this year, so I might have to buy some hot peppers. Try her hand at making it, but I feel like I better not push my luck out here. It's starting to thunder. It looks nasty. It's going to rain, but I'm getting stuff in my eyes. Bugs, bugs, bugs. I can't believe I got all these plants planted. So, tomatoes planted, bell peppers planted, hot peppers planted, all in one day. I might have to save the seeds for tomorrow, or if this rain stops and it's as cool out and not buggy as it is right now, I might come plant them. And I'm feeling raindrops, so, or those bugs. Can't even tell. Glad you got to see me again. Bye.